All right. Hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? Happy time zone. Happy time zone. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all doing well. It's a very exciting day today. It's finally time we listen to all your song challenge submissions. If you're new here, every month I host a songwriting challenge with my friend Ben Levin. Your task is to make a song using its creative restriction. If you're a musician of any skill level, you can join us. You're invited. Join our community Discord. You can find the link in the description below. Today, we're going to listen to all the songs based on this month's restriction, this month's creative prompt. And we're going to give you some suggestions to progress in your own musical journey. But before we head into the listening party, I'd like to thank all of you for being here. If you enjoy participating in these challenges or believe in what we're doing here, please consider joining the Patreon. The Patreon offers a lot of extras such as monthly creative workshops, original songs, sample packs, and many other perks. I do all of this without sponsors or governmental grants. It's all you, so please consider supporting and unlocking all of these perks so we can continue helping artists and musicians. With that out of the way, today I'm joined by Ben Levin. Please give him a very warm applause. Ben, how are you doing? What's up?
Sorry. I'm just doing the same thing I always do. Reverb, pitch shift, and looping my voice. I'm doing fine, like a regular guy. I'm just regular. I'm normal.
Totally normal.
I'm a normal guy. It's
Hell
fine.
yeah.
Don't worry about that.
So you're good.
Yeah,
Today.
I'm a normal guy. How about you?
I'm feeling pretty normal, yeah. I'd say normal.
You're
out of
regular.
10. I'm pretty regular, pretty average, pretty mid.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that, but I can see it now.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. To finally be considered average.
Yep, you're just an average guy.
That's what we all strive for.
Used to be cool.
Used to
We'll
be.
see. It'll come back. Oh,
Ben,
dang.
What's new with
What?
you? What's happening?
Oh, I'm becoming Spider-Man. And it just stopped happening. Dang.
You're no
was excited.
Spider-Man no longer. Just normal,
No.
regular Ben again.
Yeah, I'm just normal. I'm regular, but it'll be cool again. It'll come back.
It'll be
around.
fine. I think we'll get
Lately,
through it.
yeah. I've been good some days, bad some days.
Mhm.
If you were to like average out the day, like average feelings, yeah, some days good, some days bad. But I've been having a lot of fun making Daddy Mayonnaise, Daddy Spaghetti, and Fork and Spoon in the Toilet cartoons that I've been putting on Instagram and TikTok, and it's been really fun. I make the scripts and then I make them, and they're fun, and I get to imagine. Something that is cool that happened since last time is I started doing all my journaling in a Google Doc, which I always thought would be a terrible idea because you're on the computer while you're writing in your journal, so that means you could get really distracted. But
Yeah.
actually the opposite has been happening, where when I am distracted, when I'm on Reddit and I'm on 4chan and I'm on the Trump Truth Gov or whatever it is, I am like, wait, I shouldn't be scrolling and reading this stuff. I should be journaling. And then I just go to the other tab and I close it. And I've been journaling so much because on days where I'm too sad to do anything, I still am able to just type about it. And I've gotten a lot of clarity from that. And I can really keep track of like what's going on and get it out. But I was surprised that this works. And since last month our theme was journaling, I thought I'd mention that keeping your journal in a Google Doc might actually not be a bad idea, even though experts have said, like me, I am an expert I'm an expert because well, I once would have said that you should not journal on a device
Mm-hmm.
that is connected to the internet.
And so
And
it
now
turns out
it's a
you
good
can
idea.
do it.
You can.
Technology
Pen and
is fine
paper.
after all.
Yeah, and like there's something messed up. Let me tell you something fucked up about pen and paper. You have to have good handwriting to read it, and I don't, so it slows
Can
me
you
down.
not read your own handwriting? Because I mean, you know your own handwriting, right? You'll know what it says, I assume.
I can read my own handwriting, but I can't skim it very easily. Like I like being able to go to my Google Doc and say Control F and then find how many times did I say the word like dog. You know, I say that a lot. Or or the word you know what. You know a word I'm talking about, you know. You know what, right? It's a gross word.
Totally.
Starts with an S.
With an S.
Yeah.
I thought it starts with a P.
I wish.
We're thinking of a different word.
No, it starts with an S, ends with a P. Or no, you're right. It starts with a P
Soap.
and ends with an S. No, it does. You're right. Oh, soap. No. I was thinking penis. I flipped it around. But
CNIP.
Listen, I know what I'm saying. And I'm saying it well. And people understand me. This is communicating. And I am doing it. But
you definitely are.
That's my nugget of the day is consider the Google Doc, and in fact, give all your information to Google.
Yeah, why not?
Give it all. Yep.
We just stimulate the economy by doing so. You know?
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We really want the economy.
It's all about the economy. We care very much about the economy.
Well, you can't spell economy without conning me.
Damn.
Yeah. So
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
So what are we doing today? Speaking of cons.
Yeah, right. It's a convention for listening to music. We're convening, all of us, and this month's prompt for songwriting was to just use 3 instruments, no more than 3 instruments for your track. So we're going to be listening to songs that use not just 3 instruments, but only one instance of each instrument. In other words, you can't be like guitar, drums, and voice and have 10 vocal layers and 10 guitar layers doing different parts.
Right.
No, we got one voice track, one guitar track, one bass track.
Yeah.
I started this challenge and I really enjoyed it. I did keyboard, drums, and voice. But due to all the time I spent researching the way to make the perfect jokes at the beginning of this stream, I didn't have time to record my vocal, which is incredible. But
priorities.
The jokes were worth it.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, it's speaking of time, you know, makes you start to think about math a little. Makes you think of numbers like, you know, like 60 seconds equals 1 minute, right? So you think about if 60 equals 1, okay, so makes you think about math in general. And I just thought of this whole, I could do infinite jokes if my jokes are just, what did the 5 plus 3? What did the 5 plus 3? Right?
What did the 5 plus 3?
8. And like I could do a joke like, where did 7 times 4 go? 228. 228. E8. Like a hamburger, I guess. But you could do what's 4 divided by no, you can't do it like that. No. What did 4 divided by 2 say?
What did 4 divided by 2 say?
Yeah. 2.
Yes.
Right. And so there's other jokes too, like what's 100? No. What did 100 minus 5?
95.
Now you understand the jokes.
Hell
And you
yeah.
have to laugh at it. You have to laugh at it. You have to laugh at it. Thank you. Yeah. So that's what's new.
That's good
It's a
stuff.
good challenge. Good prompt.
It's
no
a
more
good
than
prompt.
3 instruments. A lot of people submitted more than ever, right? We had more submissions.
We have the most
than ever.
submissions ever. Yes, we have.
That's awesome.
24 minus 1.
Oh, are you making a joke? All right. What did you said 24 minus 1? 23. Is that the joke? Yeah, you got me. You got me to laugh.
There you go.
Shall
we listen to the first track?
Yeah, we should do like a format maybe where it's like listen to the track and then we give one item of praise and one suggestion or idea for future thing.
What a good idea. I wonder.
Yeah, I thought of it.
You thought of it this morning?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You know whose idea it was, right?
Let's listen to Alex Artificial with a track called Cued Vomit V 2.5 minus 0. Whoa, there we go. Cool drum sound. It's a hell of a processing.
Yeah.
All right. Alex.
Cool.
Nice. It reminds me of those Jessica samples we had one time.
Yeah, yeah.
For a challenge.
It's a definitely like got that let's chop and screw up the vocal production vibe. I mean, that's like it's like saying that is just like saying, "Oh, it was music." Like it's like but what I want to say, my nice thing, I'm going to say one nice thing, one mean thing. My nice thing is that was such a cool vocal mangling. I loved it. And the coughs were so cool. And as usual, Alex Artificial's doing really cool vocal
Pretty
production
dang good
stuff.
job, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how they did the vocals. If it's because it sounded Vocaloid-ish at some point.
Sounded to me like those like glitch plugins there's like one that Fire Tools showed me, Angel showed me, that I think a lot of people use, that I forgot the name, but then the other one is an Isotope plugin that it's got all these presets you control with MIDI and it does all these cool effects to your thing. But anyway, I guess I have nothing to say because I don't remember the names of those any of those. Oh, Stutter Edit. But
Stuttering. Okay.
yeah, it sounds like that kind of thing, but
Mm.
really great and really special. And my mean thing to say is, I was joking. I don't have a mean thing, but let me think if I can. All right. So it was a really great use of just 3 instruments because
Mm.
you went very deep into what each instrument is going to do. I like that you used an old drum track and built around that. So I have a request for Alex. It's not exactly a critique. I have a request, which is that you make one of these more like poppy vocal songs I've heard you do, that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
over like a super chill backing track, but still go as hard on the vocals.
Mm.
So it's the Fire Tools juxtaposition of, like the
Right. Right.
like calming new age music, but with the screaming, but in Alex's own way. If you did, like a throwback like 80s thing. And I think there was one time you did a collab with another singer,
With Sumika,
and
yeah.
it was there was one with Sumika, and then there was another one. But either way, yeah, you've done. I just like the way you do vocals. I would like to hear you do your wildest, most mangled thing ever against your chillest, most like time to vibe and relax backing track. That's my request. So maybe it's
That's a good
not
one.
that mean.
I dig
Thanks.
it. Yeah, I was thinking sort of along the same lines, just more generally experimenting with the dynamic of having more chill bits throughout a piece, juxtaposed against where it just goes totally ham in all directions and like Alex is so good at kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have more. I mean, there's moments of signs in a track like this, but I would experiment with even more. Maybe just like even entire sections where it's just a more calmer vibe, and experiment with how you can play around with that. Yeah,
I bet you could make a cool solo vocal piece where you start. Step 1 is to record vocal things, and then step 2 is to use a similar process to what you just did to make it like a performance art kind of thing that stands on its own by just a cappella, one vocal
that'd be
with
cool.
lots of mangling. Yeah, and then you could give it to people as a stem and get rich.
Mm.
And we're rich, right, Hugo? You and I, our business has been booming.
Our businesses are thriving. Yes.
Yep. I'm thriving over here on business. Thriving on business, baby.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Every day.
This is good stuff. We have a track from Quitchman called Threats of Witchery. Let's check it out.
Nice. Cannot believe that that was made by 3 individuals and
Yeah,
not one individual.
that was cool. Who
So
started the track? We have Witchy doing the synth, Hardblood doing the drums, and then Quitchman doing the bass. Okay. In that order, I assume?
it sounds it does not sound like here's this part, pass it on, here's this, and then they add a part, and then you pass it on, and then they add a part. It sounds so like so cohesive, and like just a fantastic melody, and also like so fun when it went to weird notes, because I really knew from the context, the way it was presenting, like I knew that, like I felt the intention in those notes, like I felt like they were used in a way that is much like when somebody uses like a spice well in a dish, and you really um you're not just like thinking about the spice, it just fits in with the whole dish and just makes it better, instead of being like, oh, is that cilantro? Oh, I've detected, like it just kind of fit. And that was like
Right.
exactly what I hoped would happen with this prompt, that you have 3 parts that are so satisfying together that you don't need to add anything else. It's great.
I agree, and it's a great synth poppy sound at the core of it, which I really liked, but like dark and brooding vibe. And those variations were really fun. With some really nice, clear percussion also against it, which was dope. Suggestion. Should I start?
Sure.
What if you play more with the mix in terms of space? So now you have the 3 tracks laid out against each other. And in terms of automation, I don't feel like there's that much happening, but I wonder if you could play with it more in terms of like volume swells or little things like that to kind of make more use of the stage, if you will. Typically, when I'm making a track, I like to actually visually think of a stage and really try to see how they are represented in that area, if you will. But I think it's especially interesting if you have a more instrumental track like this to kind of have the players on the stage moving around. So if you have like a repetitive synth melody, like maybe they take a step back every now and then come back forward, which could be represented with volume or something like that. Similarly, you have panning for left and right, or you can mess with reverb and see how that changes the space itself by changing the material of it, or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
it's Witch King saying the concept behind my melody is that it gets weirder and weirder. It describes the feeling of being demoralized, aka losing focus, aka feeling dumb after too much input. And that, like, so okay, so you're using the melody to express that, but yeah, you could do what Hugo's saying to express that as well. You could have automation of certain degrading effects, like break the really nice warm synth sound over time. You can throw in just moments of, let's say, Isotope Vinyl, which is a free plugin that will like make it more lo-fi. You could just throw in moments of that, or moments of like oops, you missed a note, like you did that with pitch, which is really cool. But like you could do one where it's like it's just, it disappears and is replaced maybe by, it's reverb, like you don't hear the note, you just hear it's
yeah,
like distant faint fart.
yeah,
So yeah, like it's something to think about. What Hugo's saying is really cool. I really like the idea of thinking about, yeah, if this was performed, what would it look like on a stage, and then like thinking about that in production. And then similarly, you
It
can
doesn't
be
even
like,
have to be a physical space, like or a stage. It just has to be a space, like an environment the music takes place in, if you will.
and you can use that environment to tell your story further.
Yeah.
But I like that there's a concept there. From it, like the out notes were really welcome. They made a lot of sense, and maybe the concept guided you to use the outness in a way that felt. I didn't know what your concept was, but I felt the piece improved because of those notes, and that could be because you had that in your head. You had like meaning in it. You had your own reasons for them, which
Yeah,
is cool.
definitely.
So, Mazel Tov. That was a wonderful example of collaboration in this community. Probably the most valuable asset of the community is that it enables collaboration. And there you go. I think that's a masterclass in how to do it. And
Absolutely.
we get to hear two more by that trio. So
Yeah.
pee poo, what you gonna do? Throw up once, twice, maybe maybe
Wait,
more.
what?
Oh, sorry, I just started telling poems.
Can we have more?
Yeah. A hat, a stick. I put it in my lawn. It's like a scarecrow, but it attracts the teens on their way to prom. They try to steal the hat. They try to steal the stick, but they got late to their prom dance, and now they're gonna be reprimanded by the adults and will not remember all the good times, but they'll remember like being enticed by the scarecrow, and that kind of messed up
Mm.
their high school experience. So they really got to nail it with whatever they do next. And I just wish them all the best. I want to say good luck to everyone out there
Good luck.
for going to prom, trying your best out there. And I hope it goes well. Good luck to prom. And what is it, May? No, it's the opposite of May. It's September.
Yes.
All right. So everyone's starting school now. No, started school. So enjoy your prom. Look forward to it. I don't know. Was prom at the beginning or the end? Probably at the end.
I think it's, well, American proms may be different from prom here.
Thanks for admitting that. Finally, American prom is different.
It's
Woo!
it's very different.
Yeah.
I remember we talked
awesome.
about this in one of our first
Really?
song challenges.
What do you do over there?
I think it's just a dance party in a space and people dress up and awkward dancing.
That sounds like our prom.
All right. Well, maybe it's the same.
Everything is the same.
But like in the movies, you have to ask someone to prom, and here that's not really
true.
the case. Everyone just goes to prom. There's not like you got to go with a date kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That whole like bringing someone to prom thing is a real bummer.
That's not a thing here. That wasn't for me at least.
I'm really glad to hear that. That's better because I feel like first of all there's this sort of unnatural thing about asking someone to go to prom. It's like you probably already know if you want to go to prom together if it's right. Like you both should be hanging out enough that you're like, we're gonna go to prom at the same time and like have a nice time there. But the whole like you ask a special person to prom and you don't know what they're gonna say is sort of like that seems like kind of like proposing to somebody maybe when you don't really have like an established connection of like, I don't know, people who get married, they usually know that they want to get married to each other before someone proposes.
Right.
And I just think we have to ruin prom and build it from the ground up. So I'm going to go to every prom in town this year dressed up as the stick with the hat. Oh, no. No. I will be very opaquely an adult, but I'll be a stick with a hat and I will just be
You can be a
there.
scarecrow.
I'm there to ruin prom. I'm not doing anything creepy. I'm just ruining prom and as a scarecrow.
Cool. I wish you luck
Yeah.
on this new endeavor. It sounds like an
Thanks so
exciting
much.
new venture to explore for your business.
Yeah, I'm an important man and I'm doing important things.
You got to keep the business rolling.
I accept your apology to prom. I accept prom's apology, and I hope to ruin it soon.
That's good.
Thanks. Yeah, kind of makes you want to sigh.
Speaking of prom,
yeah,
we have a track from Limmy Vanilli.
Oh, cool.
It sounds like this. Lovely bass tone. All right.
Wow.
Damn. That was cool.
Yeah.
Very different.
Oh, yeah.
Very different.
I'm very happy to hear.
Very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you regularly watch the stream, you know that Limmy Vanilli always comes in with absolute fire sound design and a lot of stuff that it's not like overly dense, but it's very full and
very tight production.
Yeah. And here we have this performance focused solo bass with cracks of like that sounds haunted and the spooky stuff. It's
I love that sound.
Getting ready
Such
for
a cool
Halloween.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cracks were so cool. I think that this is what it's all about, folks, because you get music you never would have gotten if you didn't have this kind of environment. Like this is there's at Berklee College of Music, the songwriting department and the composition department, they have these, like, you write a piece every week and then you bring it in the class, they talk about it as a class, and some of the things about it are messed up, like whatever. We don't have to get into the negativity. All I'm saying is it really is a cool class that costs a lot of money because you go to Berkeley to do it. But this is exactly the same concept happening, just from the only price we paid is the global pandemic that brought us together. That's all.
That's a small price to pay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's cool that
We're not
we've
all
converged
traumatized.
here. Yeah, I'm fine. But it's cool the way that someone like Lemmy Vanilli, who has so many like incredible strengths, could branch out away from the usual like comfortable space and do something this exposed and bring all that artistic might with them. I am standing on my chair clapping. If only you could see my video, you would. Oh shit! Right, it's not a podcast. Shit.
You got to do it now, Ben. Come on.
Fuck.
Come on.
This is so dangerous.
I'll try to join you.
Way to put yourself out there. Hopefully we don't die because of you, Lemmy. Don't want to die just because you have clap-worthy music.
Yeah, that was close.
So now it's confirmed Lemmy Vanilli does have a chair, and they hit it with a lot of distortion. That's very cool. Yeah, so I guess my suggestion, if always try to think of something helpful. I would repeat this experiment as the like beginning of your composition process. See how long you can go without adding anything beyond 3, but then let yourself do it and bring this starting mentality into your usual magical world. And I'd love to hear what the result is of that. We have a tendency, I think, to do something hard and be like, yes, I did it, I'm finished, and then not do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But repetition is so nice. And like for me, I did the Sweetie Cuties where it was all like Vocaloid, and I was making one every day for a while. And from doing like 70 of those, I gained a lot of production shortcuts to get a certain feeling. And within that, to get that to that point, this is an example of something that really helped me learn. I had to get sick of what I was doing and change it up and then kind of return to it. And so anyway, my point is it's nice to go through that cycle of you do the new thing till it's comfortable, then you get sick of it, and then you add something, and then it's like you're ready to go back to the comfortable thing, but with new knowledge. So I imagine
Do you find this typically happens for you when you're exploring something new?
Yep. You get really excited, like you find like a special little catchy thing.
Yeah.
Like for instance, for like some people it might be a way of processing their guitars or whatever. You might find like something that's really working, and then you do it a lot and you're like really excited about it, and then you get sick of it. You figure out something else that feels strange and weird, and then you like get unsick of the old thing, but now you've got that something else with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you might eat raw carrots every day for 2,000 years, but then you'll eventually want to add a honey glaze. Yeah, you'll want a honey glaze for about 10,000 years. Then you go back after you just had the honey glaze, you're like, what if I put it on my carrots? I'll even boil them. And you have a Thanksgiving carrot.
Special.
Yep, it's a carrot dish. Everyone needs me to be here.
Everyone needs a carrot dish in their life.
No one would learn if I didn't make these metaphors and analogies.
It's a good point, though. I mean, it's very much the same for me, especially if I look at like my streaming, how I've done streaming. Like it's always been in these chunks of like, I'm super interested in this concept. I'll just do it till I'm absolutely sick of it, and then I'll drop it. Then eventually I'll come back.
the reason we do it till we're sick of it is because eventually it becomes our safe space.
Mm.
And that's the danger.
Yep.
It's dangerous when you're talking music making to suddenly feel like you have this safe zone because there's never been any risk. There's no stakes. The stakes are so low that you should always feel a little bit like, I'm not sure if this will work.
Yeah.
While you're making stuff. But
It's
when
also
you're
what
like,
makes
I
it
know
exciting.
it does. And also like nothing's more exciting than discovering something new that really worked.
Yeah.
That you didn't expect. For me, an example that comes to mind is I pitch shifted a wolf howl and put reverb on that, and like, whoa, that's an amazing instrument.
Mm.
What's just one
I'd like to
example?
hear
I was
that.
excited. Oh, and then me too. It's good. Got a wolf sample off Splice, and I tuned it up. It's like it doesn't sound like some wolf sample that's auto-tuned. It sounds like morning. It sounds like MOURNING morning, like real pain, real like despair, and yeah, it's really juicy.
Where do you find a MIDI compatible wolf?
Well, you just get an
Excellent
audio
question.
sample. Let them howl how they do, and you just auto tune that. Throw it through a very large amount of ambience.
I thought you just
Anguish.
pitch shifted it up like directly, no auto tune, no hard tuning or something.
Just tuning.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No pitch shifting. Just tuning. It's a great sound.
Cool.
Howling.
I mean, I would say the exact same to Limmy. I 100% agree. More explore the bass thing because that I really like that. Getting out of that EDM comfort zone, but then also go back to it after you've done that for a bit and see if you can sort of combine it in interesting ways.
And if you decided to never go back to the electronic scape stuff, that would be totally acceptable. We just want you to do what you want to do, but so you could just keep going in this direction. You don't have to bring it back. I'm just curious what would happen if you start your next piece this way.
Yeah. I have some dark tracks today.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. I really like the grungy guitar vibe. Someone said your voice sounds like Maynard, James Keenan. I thought the guitar reminded me of a Perfect Circle grungy tracks. And I thought it really suited the dark, brooding vibe that you had going on. It was a really nice decision.
Yeah, that's reminded me of this artist. I forgot their name, but they used to like print their own vinyl and and make their own tunings and just send their records randomly to just random addresses, and people would turn them on and be like, what? Because it's very haunting and haunted. And I feel like this is the kind of thing that where you feel the vocals, you really feel the person that the vocals are coming from. You really feel the presence of the person in that room, just sort of, in my interpretation, just kind of like melting away. And I like, Han Paduncton was saying how there's all this space in these tracks. I think that's what they were saying.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
It does leave a lot of room for your imagination and for character. Like, you can hear all the details of everything. So I feel like I heard Nyai's voice more than ever.
Yes.
And that was really nice.
That's really nice.
So that's my suggestion, is to it's kind of just to keep doing this. Leave enough space that everything is exposed and in the open. Keep making, like, make your vocals even more in the front, and see, like,
his voice has a real nice quality to it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, what happens to Nyai Tupi if you wrote 11 more songs like this? What would happen to you? Like, what would you learn? What would the singing turn into? Because you wouldn't stay the same. You would find new things to do, and you're already starting with this. So what's the possibility here? What's the potential? A lot of your stuff has been very full, and a lot of cool guitar stuff in the past.
Yeah.
And here we have still cool guitar stuff, but
there's also still space for it.
Yeah. So let's keep it going.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Please
keep it going.
Yeah.
'So I think you also do this with the guitar-y tracks we've heard in the past. You have a very free time kind of vibe to it, which I dig. But just out of something else you could explore, what if you had an element that is fixed to a grid? How would that change the feel of what you're creating? Um, I like Ben's suggestion more, but that's another thing you could experiment with and try out.
I like your suggestion a lot. That's a good point.
All right. Combine
Now
them.
you got 2 suggestions that I think are good.
There you go.
I think it'd be cool
Yeah,
if you had
13th
a little
step.
bit of
Sorry, yeah.
like, oh no, I just think it'd be cool if you if you took a hard quantized approach to a song that was this sparse.
Mm.
What the heck would that be like? Be cool.
What would you do with a very locked-in groove or something?
Yeah, like
How would you
if
work around that? That'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah.
But with
Good luck.
vocals like this, that's what I really want to hear more of from you. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. We have so many songs. We have a track from Laserbolt 1, our youngest contributor. I dare not say how old exactly, but young. And the track is called The Illusion of Movement.
Yay.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Those drums were crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, the drums.
In like the best way.
Yeah. It's so cool that that's just 2 tracks, and
Mm.
you did the John Coltrane thing of playing the notes so fast that they take on a harmony. They do the chords. They're arpeggiated and they're chords, and you had like this monophonic instrument that was very chordy but also had like a lot of motion melodically to it. So you got so much done with that one track, and then you just had the drums. I feel like you could have had a bass track, but it's not like, could have. But
it's a relatively short track. I mean, for a suggestion, I would say you could have just a different section with a different feel to it. So you're developing another contrast, because you already have that contrast between the drums and the arpeggios. It could have a totally different contrast with that section by having a different section and then just lengthening the track. But this was cool, yeah. Very interesting drums.
So there's a video that goes with this, I hear.
Ooh, maybe.
So I would like to see that too in the future.
Maybe it's in the Discord.
Yeah.
I dare not check it right now.
I think so. I think I see it. Yeah, I do see it. So I'll put a link to it in the chat, or I guess I'll send you a link.
Yeah.
In our Discord chat here.
Cool.
So you can see it. And if you want to post it in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me do this.
Laserbolt's YouTube channel is one of my favorite YouTube channels in the internet. So that would include all of YouTube. And I feel like YouTube would be better if everyone was copying Laserbolt. So
That's
go
a
do
vibe.
that, please. Go, please do that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Link is in the chat.
I see. I
We
see
are the
this
first
video.
subscribers.
Yeah. Congrats on keeping it up, Laserbolt. Keep making them videos.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's great that you're
feel
making a
like-
visual along with music like this too, because I think that adds
Definitely.
a very important dimension to it.
Yeah. Recently, I think, Laserbolt took a banana and put hair on it, just like me. Thank you for doing that.
You're such a
It's
good
cool.
influence, Ben.
Yeah. I'm a good guy. Yeah. I'm proud of that. I'm proud to have
That's good
influenced
stuff.
another hairy banana video. Got to keep it up.
Seth Seabolts featuring Pixel in brackets Jaxie. It's a track with 2 Casios and vocals, I believe.
Awesome.
Which is also the title. Nice electronic ambience. It's cool.
Such a nice chord there.
A bit of underwater vibes because of how muted it is. Underwater electronics.
That would be a electricity hazard. I mean,
All right. Very cool vibe. Very cool vibe.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
That's a type of music that I find really difficult to make personally, and
Mm.
Seth did such an amazing job. It always does with that. That's a big strength of Seth's. Really a fantastic artist. Have you ever seen like
I don't think
Seth
I've
on
heard
a
much from Seth. I don't think
yeah,
it's
just
his.
like
He's submitted before, but
yeah, they're pretty prolific. At least you know what it is at Magpie Fest. I saw them and like the
mm,
um I feel I mean I've definitely like I've heard a lot of stuff from Seth. Like I met Seth at a Bent Knee show and they handed me a CD and it was probably the only one I've ever been handed that I listened to, and it wasn't it was just like I just did. I don't know, but it was years ago. It was in 2016 and it was ambient music like this.
mm-hmm.
Um and they've just been sticking with it, and the way Seth plays guitar is incredible. Um like hard to describe, but the right hand things that happen are just like seem a little dangerous for Seth's like future, but
Okay.
really amazing things happen. But yeah, the uh, this sort of soundscape, um,
Does he do ambient guitar or?
just like a lot of noise and ambient music, and also cool singing. And then the live set there is uh the John Sybil said, Seth, I need you when the Nazis come, which is something I said back when I like Seth was the first moderator on my Twitch. Because I was like sure when I started Twitch streaming, I was sure that like Nazis would show up. But that never really happened. It happened on YouTube, it didn't happen on Twitch.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, Seth, I'm gonna need you to help me with the Nazis. But yeah, it only happened on YouTube. I'm trying to
Okay.
get it to be brighter here, but
Yes,
it's
very dark suddenly.
it's so dark. But
Dark in the
well,
Ben Cave.
that's a good angle. Yeah. Hey, folks. But yeah, I'm just saying. I just want to give a good review to Seth, and and encourage Seth to like learn how to make an endlessly scrolling, like there's templates for this that come with Unreal Engine 5, but an endless walking in a direction loop
Yeah.
game type experience to go with their music, because I just think like it's art
Mm.
installation music, but I mean that in a good way for sure. Like it's not like
Yeah,
pretentious.
yeah, yeah.
It just like makes the room better. You're in a room, you turn that on, it's a better room.
Yeah, I like that a
Everyone
lot. That's
everyone
a
go
really, really cool idea.
root for Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Go root for Seth.
You make like a loopable video or something that
Yeah, that kind of
goes back
thing
into itself. Yeah.
would be good with AI art, that like
Yeah.
the endlessly panning, endlessly zooming in sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
That's a good one. For the music, you could try out messing more with because it's a very ambient piece and I wouldn't want to disrupt that, but you could experiment in that space still with volume swells more in a more, I mean, of course, there were volume swells, but in a more dramatic way. So you actually push towards louder and louder volumes gradually over time. Then you kind of lose the infinite loopback thing, but maybe it's something interesting to explore in and of itself as well.
it'd be
So
cool
that's something you
to
could do.
it'd be cool if Seth um did a collab with visual live painters,
Mm,
people who paint in the room, because Seth's in New York
okay.
doing like cool stuff and probably knows a lot of probably could know a lot of live painters,
Mm.
and that would be a good combo. Seth's probably not here right now because I'm sure they'd be in the chat. But if you see this replay, Seth, go find a live painter and do your music with one of them.
Yes.
That would be nice. Please just go change the course of your life because of what I say. Come on.
Wow. That's impressive. When it was
Thank you.
lying there unlit, I thought it
Mhm.
was salmon eggs. Like you just casually had some
Whoa.
caviar there.
Oh, wow. That would be cool.
Business is going very well for Ben Levin.
Very well. Look, I have an iPhone.
Beautiful. An iPhone and caviar.
Yeah.
Just, as you do during a song challenge stream.
Yeah. I got to put it away, though. That's no fun. But yes, I like to light up my caviar and just to set it on fire and let the smell become my new identity.
As you do.
I do. Said the bride.
Yes.
Do they do that in weddings over there?
What?
Say, do you take this person to be your person?
No, we don't do that. No.
Awesome.
No, we just have caviar.
Oh, you light it on fire though, right?
Yes. There's a light in all of the bulbs.
We're not so different after all.
Turns out we're not so different after all.
I thought we wouldn't get along. I thought we'd have one song challenge and you'd be like, okay, that was awkward. But we have some things in common.
We have some things in common. I mean, we're still trying to find most of them after almost 2 years, but
yeah,
it's
hard to be around me.
I mean, I do my best.
Yeah, you do it. Yeah, you've managed to be around me. You have been around me.
I have been around you. Yeah, not physically, but technologically.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Who
technology
in the chat? I'm curious who in the chat thinks they have just too much money and wants to give it
to Ben
away.
Levin.
Well, I was just curious if anyone feels that I just have too much money and I want to give it away. Tell everybody your
Ben needs a second caviar light bulb for Hineni. How is Hineni?
Hineni, so cute, so sweet, and I love him. I love
sweetie cutie
being around him. He has attracted to Jessica and I some very unsavory men. We've been heckled a lot on walks.
Recently?
Yeah, it's been a consistent thing, but really this week we got it. So many just strange interactions. For instance, one guy was like, a lot of older men. I don't want to stereotype, so I'll just say it has been older men who have said this, but I don't know if it's necessary. It's just okay. The vibe is they're like the grandpa vibe that says stuff that you wouldn't say. That's sort of a thing. That's a thing. All right. So
it's a thing,
we'll be on walks. And they'll often say, that dog's walking you. You're not walking that dog. That dog's walking you. And so this was one of those times. There's this guy and he says, that dog's walking you. And at this point, when someone says that, I just completely ignore them because I'm focusing. I'm walking my dog and training my doggy and helping my dog enjoy the walk and have a good life, which isn't always easy when doggies have been through a lot of hardship. And so I say nothing. And then the guy's like, thinks I didn't understand. So he's like, that you're not walking that dog. That dog is walking you. And then I'm not saying anything to him. And then he starts, Hineni gets disturbed that this guy is shouting at us. And so he starts locking it onto him, which just means that he's gonna bark soon. He's gonna bark and growl.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what the hell is this guy doing here? And he can tell if I don't
Yeah.
like the person. If I like the person, he never. It's like he can just tell. He knows. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
I'm like, so then he's staring at Hineni, and he goes, boo. And I said, leave us alone, please. And then Hineni went, rah, rah.
Mhm.
Like he knew, like I was growling and he was growling. We were like a team. And the guy is like, some dog, huh? Enjoy her. And he walks away. And, it's just like, who stares at your dog and
Jesus
goes,
Christ.
boo? Who goes boo at a
Yeah,
dog?
that's
He's
mental.
like acting like a villain. This guy's, I don't think people are really villains. Like, I don't think, but like, where do you learn to behave like that?
Yeah.
It's just so rude. And that happened again the next day.
Was that the same man
Where
or?
no, it's a whole other man. Slightly different scenario, but basically it was like, you got to lock that dog up, and like, whoa, bro, you got to lock that dog, like just saying nasty things. Because for people who don't know, I have a wonderful dog. He happens to be a pit bull, and in the US, people see a pit bull and they have all these ideas. Either they're like, I love pit bulls, because it's like people are like, want to come off as like really open-minded, but then they're like, they get like up in his face and he's like scared of strangers. And then, or they'll be like, I hate pit bulls. And then they're just like saying nasty shit to us and freaking all of us out, really.
Right.
And so, yeah, we just had a bunch of these encounters, and I made a video about it, about like how I've been consistently approached now. I'm like always getting approached by older white men. And then the comments were all like super ageist, and I didn't really want to attract that kind of thought. Like I am now confident that I'm right about this, and I'll say the disdain for boomers and the way that people talk about Karens and all that shit, it's fucked up. Stop doing it. I don't think people do it as much now, but there are plenty of people who count in that demographic who have been incredibly progressive their whole lives, and just now maybe don't come off as a progressive because they haven't progressed much more than they did. But like their whole lives, they were being radical and trying, and now they're like maybe not. And we just look at them, they're a stream, their whole life is a stream, and we look at one point in the stream and judge like everything about them. And I know that generationally there's a lot of stuff that the boomers messed up, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that we're probably messing up a lot of shit too. I think that like the generation after Gen Z is going to look at millennials similarly to how we look at boomers. I think it's just almost an inevitable thing. And I don't like the like ageism. I think like,
I guess this thing you could say about any type as stereotype.
Sure, but like each stereotype has its unique ways that it hurts us. They all hurt us. And the ones with ageism are often kind of written off.
Sure.
And that's not to say it's more important to not be ageist than it is to do other things. But I just want to like I don't want to talk about any other type of stereotype. I'm just going to talk about this one. It creates this idea in our heads that youth is so important, and that youth is something to hold on to, and that and what happens is a lot of people become invisible in the culture, in like media and in movies and stuff, and like that ends up being the way we perceive our future, is that we're going to become increasingly like less useful and less thoughtful and less and less like imagine being above the average lifespan. Like you're in your 80s. Literally most of your friends are dead. Literally, that the friends that didn't necessarily die, have moved on. They're somewhere else.
Right.
If you're lucky, you have a family that cares about you. But you can be so lonely, and then you look out into the world and nobody respects you because wisdom is no longer that valuable because we aren't humanist anymore. We're dataists. A humanist idea of wisdom is like you get older and you learn lessons and you become the master and you pass on the wisdom. But the fact of the matter is, if your grandpa tells you the directions to get out of their driveway and get to the highway and says you just got to go by this bridge and take a left at the light and then go up one more bridge, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, thanks grandpa, and then you're gonna open up Google Maps or whatever and and you're just gonna plug it in because and you're right to do it. The maps are more accurate than your grandpa, but your grandpa's been driving that road for his whole life, let's say, but like we don't value that kind of wisdom. There's other kinds of wisdom that we still do value, but it's less and less and less all the time because the science shows that your brain gets like weaker in a lot of ways. But there's something that doesn't get weaker, which is that the more loss you've experienced, the more potential you have to actually relate to and comfort someone in their loss. The more times you've had to reinvent yourself, the more potential you have to comfort someone while they have to reinvent themselves. And this sort of wisdom we really can get from these people, but we also have to like reconcile the fact that they're going to not be perfect by our current standards. So we lose that wisdom by expecting more from them. And there's so many people who are just absolute sacks of shit in the US government and governments all over the world who are in this age bracket who are
I think that's part of the problem, or part of the reason why this happens.
I know, but think about it. Like those people suck, and they have consistently sucked. But they're like, that's why they're there. Like that's a politician issue. And people want to hold on to power for as long as they can. So guess what? You eventually are old and still holding on to power. But they were grabbing that power their whole damn careers. These people had never wanted to go away. So now they happen to be the same sacks of shit and they're old. But we attribute it to the fact that they're old. But they've always been pieces of trash.
No, that's true. Absolutely. Yeah.
Ted Cruz, he's not that old. Ted Cruz is, if you're not familiar with Ted Cruz, he's a sack of shit. Ted Cruz knows he's full of shit, but he wants to stay in power. And he's going to become really, really old and still be around. And remember, he's a sack of shit today, but he will still be. But that we shouldn't like put that conception of these people. We should not take that and make broad sweeping assumptions or like color our thoughts about older people, calling them old people even is like, it's just like, what is good that is old? Like we talk about old produce, old houses, like it's just generally, I know there's cheese and there's wine and the aged, and there's the term bloomers, which I think is really cute. But I just want, I don't know, like whenever this comes up, I often am like kind of scared of like coming across as like what I want to say is there's this idea of punching up, but eventually we just have to stop punching. Like we don't want to perpetually be punching.
Sure.
And so there has to be space for some empathy here. And yeah, baby boomers, Alex Artificial is saying it's not an insult. It's always been the name. That's true.
I think it's been used in two different ways.
The way that it's been used now, okay, boomer, basically, like it became, it's not nice to be like, hey, millennial, like you don't consider, no millennial considers themselves like yep, I'm a run-of-the-mill millennial. I am exactly normal. And anything you can say about avocado toast and blah, 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 that's me. Like, no one in Gen Z wants to be told, "Oh, your humor is so ironic. You must think that it's funny to be not funny." Like that's not
Right.
nice to. Yeah. So I don't know. I go off on these things, but I don't remember why that came up.
John is calling me out.
We established earlier that Hugo has a Yep, Hugo's normal. That's true.
I'm the primordial millennial.
Yep, that's right. Heartblood pointed it out. That's how we got to this.
This all started with dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want my video about older men approaching me to incite all of this, like, oh, the geriatric, or like they're like senile and la la la. Like it's just like it's a thing that keeps happening.
Right.
But I deleted the video.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Well, next track is
that's
by
a
John,
tangent. All right.
who just
Yay,
called me
John.
out. So
I don't
revenge. Know. Revenge will be sweet.
Wreck his ass.
No, I'm very proud of John Sybil, because he's been a good student and working hard on his music, and I think the results will talk for themselves. It's called Cranes. All right. All right. Abrupt ending. A little bit. Yeah, I find this very exciting. Very exciting to retry something more ambient and low-key compared to what you usually do, which is very many ideas, many math rock, much things and going on. This is very cool. Neat spotlight on your voice. I think it developed greatly as we figure out bits and pieces. Feels like the track could be a bit longer. It's a bit abrupt ending. That's what I would suggest to you. Maybe add like because I know you were tempted to go back into like a big math rock ending, but I think you could add a more drawn out outro in the same style that it already has. Like break it back down with a ambient thing. You kind of do that in the bridge section already. You could bring that back, for example, or have a last chord or something stay at the end instead of it just cutting out. Great work. Great work. Yeah.
This is such a good use of the prompt. I think the prompt makes this is such a good prompt because it makes you have to focus in on one thing instead of like if you find inevitably that there's some problem with some thing in the song, which is just like part of writing a song, is like you find a problem or problems. You have to like dig in deeper to that one thing. You don't just add a different thing to like contextualize it. So in other words, you might be playing like a guitar line and you're like, this guitar line doesn't feel full enough. And so maybe you would add normally a double to it, another guitar line that doubles it. But in this case, you have to just go in and make that guitar line make sense and work. And I feel like you did that with your voice here, where you put yourself in a position where you have to carry the song with your voice, and you have to carry your song self with this chill use of your voice, and you really succeeded at that. Very that's a very cool feeling when you center your music around your lyrics and your voice without hiding behind anything. It's a great way to create strong memories. You'll listen back to that piece and you'll probably remember a lot about how you felt in that time when you made it. And I feel like music can be super intimate in lots of ways, but this is probably the most like consistent way to get to intimacy, is to feature your voice, feature your words, and have it be loud, have it be right up front in the mix, and not have enough going on to just anything going on to distract from it. So I guess my thought on like how you could make it longer if you wanted to, that might be a cool thing to try, is you just cut the kick out and you have the repeating guitar pattern just go by itself for a little while, and then when it feels like it's just been going there for too long, just like about to be too long, the vocal comes back in with just one very short line, and that's the end. So like you give people some time to think on it, and then you give them one last like, this is the point of the song. If it wasn't now that the prompt is over, you could add at the like if the ending could be like repeating vocal line over and over again that like swirls around with other takes, or you could just use a delay to create like a round, because it's a very swirly kind of instrumental, so you could do some like swirly like round, like a chorale, da 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 da, like da 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 da, that kind of thing.
I see what you mean. Yeah, starting at a different point in the phrase again and building it up like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well done, John. Proud of you. We have a track from Sumika. Ben, just to make sure, you had to go in 1 hour.
Yeah,
Okay, we got it. We gotta keep it short.
we can
Keep
do
it
it.
snappy. It's called Arrested Development. Fucking hell, what's up with these spam bots?
They're cool. Leave them.
When the air is
See if we can ban.
eager like this, there's something awaiting repair. To the girls who dream of meeting a prince, you've not seen it all, you've not felt it all. Tap into terror, a rolling array of arrested development, slipping and sliding and stopping the villains from heeding their hunger and hiding the hoping that bruises the bearer. Oh, 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 oh. I know that I can beat you at this game. I've shown that I will still love the same. You wait and see. 'Cause if I'm playing wrong, it's 'cause I'm playing for keeps.
All right, new direction. That's cool. Love those jumpy, waltzy keys. That's very nice.
An amazingly unique instrumentation. What a choice to be like, all right, I got 3 instruments, 2 voice and 1 piano.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Cool choice.
Cool choice, yeah.
And that, I'm sure, it influenced so much of your songwriting process there. That also kind of emphasizes just the way that you can look at voice truly as an instrument. It really is an
Right.
instrument. Sometimes I don't know if we think about it the same way as instruments, which makes sense. They're a bit different. But when you're like, all right, I got 2 voices, I got to make a song that's just 3 layers, and I need these 2 voices. Like, if 2 of the 3 things are voice, then like one of the voices has to help support the whole
The rest,
that you
yeah.
probably will get, from just having so few things.
Yeah.
And it was cool how like one of the voices felt like the call and the other felt like the response.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a piece that you could really perform. Like, you could have 2 singers and piano,
Right.
Which is cool.
That's definitely cool.
This sort of thing, it'd be cool to hear it. Something like this, you don't have to go make this again because you made it.
Right.
But you could make a piece where you plan to like get a friend over and you both sing it while one of you plays one hand on the piano and the other plays the other. So it's like 2 people, each with one hand on the piano and one voice, and that would be a fun game.
That'd be interesting.
Fun activity.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any singing pals in your area but I bet you could make something really cool that way. And then you could record that with just a room mic. And it would be a cool intro for your upcoming, eventually, next album or whatever. I'm just saying this. Like, I'm not trying to drop any news. I don't know exactly what your plans are there. But I'm sure you've got lots of albums in your future. And a cool intro would be like a noisy room recording of like 2 people on the piano singing like that. And then, boom, it enters your sick production environment.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'd be interesting for you to keep exploring these rhythms as well, because I feel like that's new for you. And a very exciting new direction to go. Because you haven't done it before, or at least not much. So do more of it. Cool. Cool. We have a track from Hardblood called Tell Me Why. So it's Hardblood, Witch King, Quitchman on whatever instruments this has.
Nice.
Witchman drums, witchy guitar, Hardblood vocals. Cool spooky vibe.
Love those vocals. Mm-hmm. All right, nice. That's a really cool vibe. I like that a lot. Yeah. That's a good team, those three.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed with how the 808 and the guitar worked together, like the high bloops and bleeps of the 808, and then the crunchy guitar had like a cool call and response thing going a lot of the time,
Mm-hmm.
which is really nice.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
see that it's Heartblood's one of Heartblood's first mixes. Right? They started mixing. Very
Just
cool.
started.
Congrats. I do have a mixing suggestion then. If you just if you're doing it yourself, you don't actually need very much ambience on a vocal to make it sound ambient. So like so think about this. If there's more ambience on the vocal, there's more stuff you have to worry about in your mix. Like if you listen to that guitar track totally by itself, it's probably it probably fills up a good amount of space. It feels solid. Feels like, yeah, there's some good stuff there. There it is. And if you listen to that drum, the Bit Crush drum, it's like, that's fat. That's fat. And you put them together, there's a lot of stuff already. It's like this really present, beefy kind of wet guitar and this really presence beefy kind of wet drums. And when I say wet, I mean affected heavily, fills up a lot of width, fills up a lot of space. And so then the vocal, your vocal is really good. You don't have to hide it in anything. Not that that's what it sounded like you were doing, but my point is you don't need a lot of effects, but I can see why you'd want to get like a bit of a maybe spooky reverb going. Well, you could use way less reverb and just maybe a touch of delay. And I think you would get the create the impression of wetness without literal wetness. And it's interesting to listen to recordings that you remember being pretty wet. I always think of Beach House for this, like bands that you think are like reverb bands, very like wet sounding underwater bands, Fleet Foxes, Bon Iver, stuff like that. When you actually go in and analyze it, like just how much reverb is really there? If you really start listening, it's hard to hear very much at all. And also, if the guitar is fairly ambient, the vocal can afford to be even less less ambient.
Because the instrumental is already creating that world around it.
Yeah, exactly. Vocals can be pretty dang dry. They need often stylistically to be compressed a bit to get that timbre of compression and also the compression of compression. But reverb, delay, these things can really when you're starting out mixing especially can create some problems that that might be cool for you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I want to point out I really like your voice and how expressive it is in the track and the contrast between the bits. You really used your voice in very different ways there, and I found that really cool. I was thinking for the mix, what if you automate a bit more throughout? Maybe also to solve a little bit what Ben is talking about. Like at points, I found the drums a little bit buried. So you could mess with specific sections in which you want them to shine through a bit more.
I think the reason the drums were getting buried was from the vocal ambience. Like I think if you muted the vocals altogether, the guitar and the drums probably like were similar and their interplay probably was working. If they were more different, then the vocal ambience wouldn't be as much of an issue, but they do blend together, which I like. But yeah,
I like that vibe for some sections. That's why I wonder if it's like an automation thing where you could turn it off on just sections of the track instead of throughout.
You could think of it as dry versus wet choruses, something like that.
Yeah. Cool. I'd love to hear more. This is really good. I like it a lot.
And luckily, they've got another trio coming up. So.
Absolutely. First, we have a track from Scully and Emma called Wings of Whisper.
Cool.
Yeah, for example, Hard Blood. You can experiment with it.
You listen to me?
Funny little thing.
I don't know what to say.
It's a pleasure to meet.
Listen.
Here.
I need your help.
Are tickles in your hair.
I'm only human.
We cover everything.
And only have myself.
We are everywhere.
Yes.
No.
I hear you whistle.
We do not understand.
As you move the grass.
Why are you here?
And make the trees bristle.
Where will you land? Your
arms are heavy.
Have no tether.
Carry me, carry me.
Maybe.
Bring up my wings.
Where are your feathers?
Dear spirit,
small being,
find me a place to stay.
We hear you now.
Where should I go?
Follow us.
Show me the way.
Listen to the howl.
Look.
See.
The sea is still.
You are so small.
I need to set sail.
Yet you persevere.
Or perish I will.
Thus help we shall.
Why?
We.
So stormy tonight.
Fume and spit.
Please, please.
No.
Spare me this fright.
We shall not quit.
We are?
For now.
Awake and alive.
You are home.
I cannot thank you enough.
And welcome you are.
Have I finally arrived?
No longer alone.
Oh, wind.
Hello, human.
I have not forgotten.
Our joy is grown.
Old friend.
Adventurer, you.
My peace you've begotten.
Made life less bland. We are finally one.
to listen together.
Sing our song.
It's time to leave.
So short you exist,
Do not be brave.
you shall be missed.
I shall settle now.
Just like before,
The last vow.
no pain anymore.
Goodbye, old friend.
We'll stay with
The wind.
Not
So
that last
pretty.
bit.
Yeah. That's so pretty. Such a cool concept and execution.
Very
The
cool
guitar and-
storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what the guitar and piano were doing was such a wonderful, like, just like got your heart to understand the tone of the lyrics.
Mm.
Such a nice combination there.
Yeah.
And it was really well read. I liked the way they were reading, you know, I
Mhm.
liked the way they were like saying everything. And it's wonderful, really cool, poetic, inspiring concept.
I agree. It's very beautiful. And I really like the deep bass sound you had going there too. Thought that was a nice extra weight on it. I was wondering, because now we have that interplay where you're just taking turns on lines. If it'd be cool to have like dedicated solo sections where you kind of build out a character on its own. So you have like the Emma bit, you have the Scully bit, and then you have the bits where they come together again. So you're kind of developing the characters on their own. Then they have the interplay again. To kind of play around more with the idea that they are two individuals, but they also have these things that in which they connect with each other.
That could be real cool. Yeah. So the guitar and the piano, I liked the way they were compressed, and I liked the tone of them a lot. And it's really interesting, like, just if to go back and listen to that again, and think about like what they are saying with the lyrics, but then how much like you can just feel what they're saying because of the instrumental behind it. And I think that like that spoken word with music right there, it's like such a great demonstration of how powerful music is, like how much it shapes our perception of meaning on an emotional level, where it's not about decoding the poem, it's about feeling the poem. It's really great.
Yeah. Well done, both of you.
Mazel-tastic.
Got a track from Randy. Yay. Newcomer as well. It's called The Walmart Shuffle.
Body of water, prism of light, bending which way out of sight. Motion is crushing. I'm eating for two.
Great vocals.
Blank slate, blind and see.
I agree.
It sounds so big and cool, powerful. What a pretty ending.
Oh yeah.
That was really cool. That was really up my alley. Very
Fantastic.
cool industrial-esque vibe.
The low growl instruments, so
Yeah.
good. And
Very
yeah, I'm
cool.
really glad you did this, Randy. I'm glad you're here. Everyone's digging it. It's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy's a student of yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep. I mean, we're all students of Randy too. You know.
I believe that.
Yeah, it's just like it's cool to hear the all the experience you have and all the experiences you've had in your music. Like we hear your experience doing experimental music and singing and sound design and production, but I feel like we can hear like the life you've lived. You have something to say,
Mm.
and I feel it in there. And the ending was it was dark in how pretty it was. Like
Mhm.
it felt like you had been injected with the when they put you to sleep before an operation or something.
Right.
Like you just ended up in this sinister spot. And then Randy says, honestly, this track is mostly me learning how to use Reaper and then venting about capitalism. So then you ended up with the nice mall music at the end. That's cool.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like it's sedating us. I got that kind of.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, you learned Reaper well. It sounds excellent. My only suggestion for next time would be to even spotlight your vocals a bit more, because I think they're really good and they deserve to be heard. I found them a little bit low volume at times, a little bit buried. I think it's mostly not even a buried as in a mixing sense. It just needs a bit more volume. Just needs to be pushed a bit. But they're great. They're really good.
Yeah.
Put them in that spotlight. Absolutely.
Would you say Randy is a wonderful experimental artist?
Oh yeah. I want to hear more. I want to hear more experiments. Yeah.
Yay.
This was great. Yeah. Well done, Randy. Thanks for submitting something. Track from Tila Head with the Res Band. It's called Dorothy.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Colin. Please take your moment tonight in a wonderful number. And this one is for Big Dorothy, not the Chim Chop. Alright, sorry, boys. When you broke my heart, I cried one night. Then I went out party, got some sun on my face. Dorothy, I know you got me on my knees. But I won't let you get me, well, I won't let you get me with my back to the wall. You made me cry, you made me sad one day. I got in my car and I thought about driving into the town, getting down. Taking it easy. Dorothy, I know that you made me cry. I won't let you get me with my back to the wall. Raise down, So he sat back. So he sat back. So he sat back. Oh. What? But at one point, oh, that's right. That's right. I believed in tech.
All right.
That's the end.
I think so, yeah.
That's
I think they go
cool.
into a next song or something.
Very cool.
Very awesome. I mean, it's just a great, like, live, fun, like, high energy vibe.
The
It's so fun.
drums and guitar play so well together.
Mm-hmm.
And the digga da gung da gung digga da gung da gung digga da gung da gung, those rhythms, like, is it true this was improvised? Am I hearing that right? Because
I'm wondering too, yeah. Because
it's hard
that's
to do
really
that so
good.
tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were so many great reads. Yeah, y'all play together a lot, huh?
They must, yeah. Because this is really musicians that know each other.
That was a great improv. Like,
Yeah.
they always improvise live. Good for you. You're
That's
doing the most fun
awesome.
thing I
Yeah.
can think of. Yeah, that is my hope, is actually to do that.
Mm.
That's so cool. Yeah, trio, good thinking. Good thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sick.
Wow.
Very
That's
nice
inspiring.
punk twist to it.
Yeah. Jeez.
I
That's
could hear
a
someone
lot of
said
fun.
dead. I think it was Bruno said Dead Kennedy's vibe. Yeah, I could hear that.
That just seems so fun to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm a little bit jealous. I want a band
yeah,
like
me
that.
too. I want to. Yeah, exactly. When do I get to do that?
Exactly.
Well, we got to make it happen, Hugo. You have to like go out and make those things happen. They don't come to you. You got to go meet the people and schedule the rehearsals. Like, not even rehearsals.
Let's
the
do a live
jams.
one, Ben.
Yeah, I wish that we could. I have
There
so
was
many
a way.
wonderful. We have wonderful friends all over the world, but if they all were in the same room, that would be one hell of a jam. Except everyone would smell me. A big part of my like success is that I'm in mediums where I don't have to smell good in order to succeed, because the second you actually do get in the room with me, it's like, oh, okay.
Now it all
gonna
makes
be
sense.
That's going to be an issue. Yeah.
All right. Next song. Speed run. Dante. 333 elevations. All right. That was nice. Yeah, Mems. I felt that too, like a very gamelan kind of vibe.
I liked the panning a lot.
Uh-huh.
The
Mm-hmm.
that
Very cool
was
interplay
super
between the
nice.
different bits. But then also like they all had a dedicated space kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So you got three of the, what are they called again? It's CLI something, or
Gil or something?
oh yeah, GYIL. Yeah. Gil.
I've
Three
not
of
heard
those
of this
tracks.
before.
It's a cool choice to not quantize it. Like you did it with a VST, so I think most people would reflexively, just as a reflex, be like sticking on the grid completely. But you made it sound very live, and I think that made some stuff, that sold some aspects of it. Like I wasn't really thinking about it as a VST. I was thinking about it as a performance, and I think that's helpful for something that with this kind of timbre, like super quantized marimba, for instance. Like marimbas are really good sample instruments. Like it's really easy to sample percussive keys really well. But when they're quantized, it's like one of those examples of when quantizing can often go awry. And yeah, it felt more like a new music piece because you didn't.
Yeah. Apparently it's a West African xylophone. Looks like this.
Is that okay? Is it from the Contact World? What are they called? I forgot. Is it a Contact instrument you got there? Is that what we're seeing? But it doesn't matter. Great job, Dante.
Yeah, it was great.
I suggest trying
Well, I would actually like to hear something like this, but combined with I wonder what you would do if you'd also put vocals in something like this.
It's a really good idea. That would be cool. There's so much
what would
space
happen?
for vocals.
Because you created such an interesting sonic landscape. What would happen if you do something like that? Put your own voice in.
You'd probably get rich.
Oh yeah,
that's a good idea.
That's what we're all about, after all.
Thank you very much for admitting that.
You're welcome. Anytime. Witch King,
Cool.
Spars on Mars, the third of the trilogy collabs. It's so important, Witch King. Everyone that does it learns so much. Cool. Very gothy synth pop vibe that I really like. Lovely, like, melodies, very catchy. Great synth lead. That's cool.
Yeah, that Witchman, or wait, yeah, Witch King was asking for
Yeah.
mix notes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was thinking pretty much exclusively about mix notes the whole time. But I like the vocals, and I like the instruments, and I like the vibe and the emotion. And I was just mostly trying to think of things to say about the mix. And so
Mhm.
here's what I have. First, a question. Is there reverb on the kick? I feel like there might be, but I'm not sure. I'm going to put a comma there, and when I hear back, I'll talk about that. The thing I would recommend thinking about is width a little more. How can you get things to sound wider? And one of the things that makes a mix sound wider is if there's high stuff panned all the way to the left or all the way to the right. And so what you can do is you could put a little delay on the hi-hat and have that delay itself panned really far to one side and have it just be a very short delay. So it's just like a little reflection, like a reflective delay, like if you were in like a tennis court, indoor tennis court, or like, I don't know, when you clap your hands in a room and you just hear that little very short delay. Yeah, definitely wouldn't put reverb on the kick.
No.
So it's good that you didn't. I think there could be less reverb on the snare. I think there could be less reverb on the voice. The reason that would be good is because you'd still have some reverb, you'd still have that wetness, but I think it would make your stuff sound louder and bigger and more up front. The like width is this thing when people say make it wider, it is kind of hard to like know what to do. Another thing you could do is take the synth and duplicate the track, pan one of the two all the way to the left, pan the other one all the way to the right, move the one on the right forward just like a couple milliseconds, and detune it by a few cents, and you'll get a wider sounding synth. It'll also be chorusy, but it was it's not, you can duplicate, it's just the same performance. It doesn't break the rule of the prompt because it would still be one track, but instead of buying Soundtoys Microshift, you would be doing what Microshift does if you were to put it on as an effect. So like duplicating one performance, it doesn't count as adding another instrument. It would be different if you played the performance again on top of itself, but I'm saying to take literally what is there and put one all the way on the left, one all the way on the right, because the like making something needs to be wider. I think that the kick and snare should be in the middle, but the hat like stuff and the synth could be wider.
It could be wider.
The
Yeah, I agree.
vocals could have less reverb, and then I think you'd have a slightly more impactful mix.
Yeah. I think you'd also have a more modern mix. As a side note, I do like a lot of reverb because it actually reminds me of that 80s synth pop, synth wave, gothy vibe. So I'm a bit hesitant there because I do feel like it suits that kind of vibe. But for a more modern mix, I totally agree with what you said.
Maybe it's possible to use that reverb to create some width then.
Yeah.
Because then it would be separate from the vocal.
Yeah.
So, that would mean panning the reverb.
Yeah. Something else you could do, which I think will improve the track, is humanize the drums a little bit, because it's, of course, also in the style to have them pretty quantized and all that, but every hit is the exact same velocity. And I think you would make them more interesting to listen to if you just slightly messed with the velocity of them on an individual level. Now, through Ableton, you can just drag that per MIDI hit. But you can even set it so that it's randomized. There's like a little slider in Ableton to like have it fluctuate up or down between a range of like 10 MIDI bits or whatever these things are called, MIDI velocities. So that's something you could do to improve the mix too. I think the drums will come out a bit better, especially if you have the snare hit a little bit harder sometimes, a little bit softer sometimes. Not like a very drastic difference, but like just subtle things, and it'll just make it feel more like an actual human played the part on an E-drum, because that was a thing they did back then. Cool.
So we have we're about to do number 15, right?
Yes.
So I don't know if we'll get through 8 in the next 20 minutes. So maybe
Probably
we should
not.
schedule another stream. Maybe like would tomorrow be possible, or Thursday?
I can also blast
So-
through them if you have to go. It's not a very big deal.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, people hear from me all the time, and I just kind of rant about ageism anyway. I don't really have much to say.
If you want, we can do well, if you prefer another stream, we can do that too. Or you can send them notes.
Yeah, I could send. I'll send notes to the remaining folks that I don't hear. And there you go. That
Sure.
would be great. I think that might be even better than what I think of on
Okay.
the spot.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we
Cool.
keep going?
Yeah.
Perfect. Pugnacious Glue Gun with a track called Absence of Thought. Have a good one, Randy. Thank you. Oh, it's called Untangled. Sorry about that. All right. Cool. It's awesome to hear you experiment more with a quantized kind of feel, because normally you always have such a free time, free flowing, improv vibe to it. It's really interesting to hear you try something else.
That's a good point. And yeah, it seemed like a lot less noise in the tracks, which I always liked the noise that you've had in the
Yeah.
past that served the piece, but like now you're doing more of a like here is contained, controllable audio,
Yeah.
which
While
makes me
still
think
keeping that signature experimental vibe, I feel like I don't
definitely
think that was lost in the process.
right. Yeah, it's just a different way to get that result. Yeah, I think that you might want to play around with panning a bit. Like the words could have been on, then one's on the right side, then one's on the left, and then
That's a cool
maybe
idea.
like the synth could be moving sometimes. Just experiment with that left to right space a bit. I think you'll have fun with it. And you could even conceive of a piece where it's like, all right, I'm gonna have this thing on the left, this thing on the right, and this thing in the middle for my three instruments.
Yeah.
Normally, the vocal would be in the middle, but so would be the kick and the snare. So
Mm.
in this case, I think the vocal could be off to the side. I think the synth could be off to the side. And then you'd have the drums in the middle. So maybe that things just need to be moving around to achieve that stereo-ishness. But
I think even just
would
having
have
moments
fun with it.
where the synth just disappears for the bit and it's just the vocals. So you play with the dynamic in that sense. I like the panning idea, but you could also just do it by cutting volume entirely, just by removing it for a bit.
It's true.
And create movement in that. It's that space thing again, right? Where you could move left or right, but you could also move forward and backwards and disappear for a bit. And then you'd also have a sense of movement going on.
I like that way of describing it. Because,
Yeah.
like loudness is forward. Loudness is things that are closer to your ear. They're closer to you. They're louder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More. Nice to see you try new stuff. Keep it up. Keep it up. Mika Allen book, which is Stuff Slacker, with a track called 3 Guitars Number 2.
Nice.
All right, cool. I dig this. It's some real nice sonic exploration that reminded me of something like Derek Bailey, avant-garde guitar kind of thing. Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 whammy bar guitars. That's a good idea. One
Mhm.
is like, yeah, we know. But having 3 different ones, you can get sounds that you really like. Any guitarist who's ever had a Floyd Rose has made those noises, or some of them. Like, but the way you arranged them and the way that the different performances worked with each other and the way they were panned and the way that the actual sounds came out and all that.
It becomes
was
an
super
intentional
cool.
piece instead of just like, ooh, I got the whammy bar
Yeah.
now.
Exactly. It's like a synth. Your synth is one of those wow big like oscillating pitches crazy things, but like you did the knob twisting and all the sound design, but it's actually strings flopping and going up and down.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Lots of just really good gems in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
right, Mems. Very, very Derek Bailey. Actually, that's going to be my suggestion. Well, first of all, I wonder what would happen if you combine this idea of very avant-garde experimental guitar exploration, sonic explorations, with other instruments, and attached to that, go listen to Derek Bailey's, I think it's called Guitar, Drums, and Bass, or Drums and Bass and Guitar, something like that. And it's basically a record of drum and bass beats with experimental guitar like this. It's really cool if this is your vibe.
sounds cool. I gotta check that out.
Guitar, Drums, and Bass. That's what it's called. By Derek Bailey. Listening suggestion for everyone.
It's not on Tidal.
Uh-oh. You'll find it on YouTube, probably. I know it is on Spotify. Not that you should give them money, but
Do you know the album?
the album.
Yeah.
The album is called Guitar, Drums, and Bass.
Oh, right. That's what you were saying. It's not a song.
No. Let's see. Derek Bailey.
Yeah, I didn't find it on freaking Tidal, but I'll try it on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. I'll link it in the chat.
Thanks.
Should be this.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We have time for one more, Ben?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's listen to Mam's track, Le Vampire. Mam's made a very cool video again. Please go check it out. He explains the entire process. It's super cool again. I can't praise the videos enough. Go check it out. It's good.
If I happen to wake up early in the morning, the world seems to be a doomy place. Everyone conspires behind your back at the sarcastic nature of humans I face. There's nothing to do for an hour or two. Nobody cares, there's no bad tea. And if I'm hungry, there is no food. And no one understands the misery. music I play's just too loud, and everyone rathers I didn't exist. The blanket is my own shield for all the glares and stares I resist. Hence I sleep all day in my own beautiful dreams I play. Be 1 p.m., be nocturnal I say. To live a nightlife is the only way.
Cool. Cool.
Your vocals sounded so good. The vocals,
Yeah.
your voice sounds so like used.
Mm.
Like it sounds warmed up and has the nice rasp to it on some of your notes, and
Kind of
sounds like
theatrical
yeah,
in like a very
Yeah.
good way.
yeah. Like I'm experienced performing and expressing, and here it is. You know,
Yeah.
like, sounds like that. And it was cool how you had like I think you picked the bass, and the attack on the bass was so percussive that it did a lot to fill the hole that normally there'd be like some kind of drums.
Mm-hmm. Interesting choice of instruments too, like a mouth harp-ish instrument
Yeah,
with the heavy bass and vocals.
it's a cool doubling.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
really cool. I wish that I could hear a like big like fat acoustic kit come in, but we didn't let you. We made
Not
that
allowed.
impossible.
Not today.
I also like Mams. I don't know if you ever made your top 40 pop song.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like
true.
we requested that as a challenge.
He's
I don't know.
avoiding it.
You do what you want. You do your thing. You're a wonderful artist. You do great.
This is
And
true.
no one would want you to become anything that you don't
That you're not.
feel like
yeah.
you want it, that you're not. But I feel like if you did a top 40 pop song, it would sound different than top 40 pop. It'd sound like you still, but it'd be cool if like that's what you tried to do, but you ended up with something else.
Mm.
It's just a thought for you.
Yeah.
I just want to see you shine in all the ways that I can think of. I want to control you with my ideas. But it is very nice to hear the pieces so far, and I'm excited to hear the rest of them.
Mhm.
I will listen to them and send notes tomorrow.
Perfect.
I'll put that in my calendar.
Ben, thank you so much for coming on once again.
I love
Everyone,
it. I'll
please
be here.
give Ben a big thank you. Please go check out Ben's YouTube channel, Twitch channel, Instagram channel, and also the benlevinmusicschool.com, where you can get lessons with Ben.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ben.
I had a good time.
Me too.
Have a great rest of the stream.
Yes,
I'll-
we shall.
I'll be sending y'all notes.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Ooh, that was a cool infinite loop. Woo! All right. It's just you and I now. We have a track from JV. Let's give it a listen. God, there's so many bots today. What's going on? What is this? Who's bringing in the adult content? What the hell? All right, JV has a track called Fable of the Cursed Fish. Very cool bass sound. Yeah, very cool sounds. Take care, Hardblood. Thank you. See you next time. Full vocal delivery, and I love the processing on it. It's very cool. Very creative with the processing. Yeah, loads of bit crushing. So many cool sounds in this. Yeah, that's very cool. Great use of dissonance, I agree. And very creative processing throughout the track. I think you really use it to your benefit to tell a story. Whatever that story is, you really set a mood with all that sound design. You created a world for us to live in for a little bit. Yeah, a lot of different moods. I like the development of them because it's not just like randomly switching. It's a very natural progression, I feel. It's very cool. A lot of weird bit crush sounds. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, you have a kind of solo section for the piano at some point, kind of like in the middle, 2/3 in. My suggestion there would be a bit similar to what I said to Witch King about his drums, is to try and humanize those a bit more, because I think it would be a very cool juxtaposition to have the weird processing throughout the track, which is of course all digital stuff, with a more human, organic performance of the keys. Try it out. I think that would be cool. So you have, sometimes you dig into the notes and it becomes louder and more tense through that performance, and sometimes you lay back a bit. But I think you could add a lot of dynamics there that would make it interesting. You've got a bit crush on everyone here. Totally understandable. Bit crushed vocals were in part to hide my not so good vocals. I think they worked really well. I honestly couldn't tell that was the reason you did it, because it just suited the track. That being said, you're in a safe space here. That would be a good suggestion for next time. Cleaner vocals. Go for it. Try it out. Experiment with them. Because you can sing. Absolutely. Well done, JV. That's a very cool track. Very cool. I liked it a lot. We have a track from Zerion next. That's called Stars. Nice. That was very pretty. Well done, Zerion. Very lovely, sentimental piano. Yeah, very, very dynamic playing. It's very lovely. I also really like that idea of the found soundscape in the background. I found it a little bit low volume, like mixed in a bit too low. I would have loved that to be louder. So you give it, you allow that space to be there. There were some like crickets going on and maybe some birds. I couldn't quite tell. That was a cool idea. I like that a lot too. If this is MIDI, then I feel scared for the pianists out there. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. If it is, it's definitely not quantized. But it could also be because it had that, you know, reverb going on and the soundscape behind it. Could be leaking in through the microphone. I don't know. But yeah, that was cool. Contrasting with JV in a way. My suggestion would be, what if you process things more? So JV could humanize his piano a bit more. You could process the whole thing more. I think that'd be interesting directions for both of you. It's kind of like the polar opposite in a way. And yeah, give that an experiment. I think you'll be surprised what you can do with that kind of world. Cool. Thank you, Zirion. Well done. Very cool. We have a track from Doctor Whom called Vocal Ventures. Track number 20. Yeah, invite your friends to the community. Invite all the friends. Very meditative. Very cool. Like the interplay of the three voices. Oh, they made a video for it? I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Very cool. Yeah, that was interesting. Very interesting. I like the very, starting out had like a very meditative vibe, like chanty vibe, turned into like a way more incredibly like expressive, raw, darker vocal performances. Really good use of like breath and like squeezed throat sounds later on in there. I think that made it really interesting. I want to recommend to you an album by, let me make sure I'm saying his name right. I think he's called John Benz. Yeah, John Benz. He has an album called Kill, which is very vocal heavy. I think it might inspire you. Also, anything from Blixa Bargeld, which I think you already know. But for anyone that doesn't know, you can check that out. But John Benz's Kill, I think that'll be interesting for you if you want to keep exploring this kind of thing. But yeah, this was awesome. Cool stuff, Doctor. Very cool. Nice collab too. I guess this was with Mams and Nyaitupi, right? Yeah. Yeah, go check those out. I think you'll get at least a kick out of it, but you'll probably end up inspired and get even more ideas for this kind of stuff. All right. We have a track from Stealth Mouse called The Wheel. Yeah, Blixa from Einstürzende Neubauten. Among many other things. Everyone's getting ready for spooky season. Really haunted energy. First guitar song in 10 years? Cool. I like how you used the guitar with the slow strums. Drive safe, Stealth Mouse. I mean, the track is called The Wheel. Coincidence? I think not. Yeah, that was awesome. Instantly pulled me in with those vocals. Very haunted vocals, but a lot of space in the track. It's really good. Really haunted ambience that works really well for me. And also those delayed guitar strums were cool. Really cool vibe. Very different from what you've done previously, I feel, or usually at least. Give yourself a pat on the back for that. Yeah, it's awesome. Honestly, my suggestion is just do more of that. More exploring in these new different directions, because I think you'll learn a lot from them. And I think you probably learned a lot from this track. Sounds great. Well done. Very nice work, Stealth. Also, drive safe. No texting and driving, please. We're all clapping for you. Give yourself a pat on the back when you're home. 2 more tracks. Pugnacious Glue Gun Records. We have Mrs. Henry and the Coerced Kid Choir with a track called Winker's Lullaby.
Digging a hole in my corner, I'm digging a hole in my corner, I'm digging a hole in my corner. In my corner there's a hole. Winter's coming and it's time to go.
Yeah, there will be a VOD
Winter's
after this.
coming and it's time to go. Winter's coming and it's time to go. In my corner there's a hole. Feeling the chill and I'm hungry. I'm losing the sun and I'm hungry. I sleep all day and I'm hungry. I'm feeling hungry in my hole. Digging a hole in my corner. I'm digging a hole in my corner. I'm digging a hole in my corner. In my corner there's a hole. I'm grazing long until I'm all filled up. I'm pacing long until I'm all used up. I'm grazing long until I'm all filled up. I'm feeling full inside my hole. I'm sleeping long until the sun comes back. I'm resting long until the grass comes back. I'm taking it easy till we all come back. In my corner, in my hole. Feeling the warmth and I'm hungry. I'm gaining the sun and I'm hungry. I'm up all day and I'm hungry. I'll fill right up outside my hole. Digging a hole in my corner. I'm digging a hole in my corner. I'm digging a hole in my corner. In my corner there's a hole.
Ah, nice. That's so cool. Another first timer. Well done. That was awesome. I love the very intimate vibe of this performance. It sounded very raw, very intimate. Love the sound of the auto harp. And the use of your kid as a backing singer is really cool. I really like that idea of adding in that choir later on when you first start off with that more intimate setting. That's awesome. Yeah, very well done. Very well done. I'd love to hear more from you. Arrows bark. I thought I heard the doggo. Yeah, actually, that might be an interesting thing to explore. More of like that contrast of like a self-accompanied raw performance blended in with sections of choir-esque backing vocals or whatever you want to do there. I like that contrast. I think it's worth exploring further. Yeah. It was an auto harp, yeah. It's cool. You can hear like the strums and everything. It's awesome. Very cool sound. Yeah, give a big applause to the Laserbolt family. It's so cool. So cool that you all made a track. Very exciting. We have a track from Bruno Fidelis with a song called Fool's Paradise.
Growing taller for the ones I care, and I'll keep it to myself. Nobody will suspect my little lies, how they just disappear in crisis time. I'll just go back home and any given time and surround myself with comforting lies, muffling all the pain that sings inside. Ends well, begins well, I will love to try. We just gotta live this thing forever.
Awesome change.
Fool's paradise. It's okay as long as I remember. Fool's paradise. Look at me, running back to what I know. Look at me, showing all I know. Unimpressive, I can see the face. Ends well, begins well, and it goes away. One more day.
Cool higher layers there. This is very
We
nice.
just gotta live this thing forever. Fool's paradise. It's okay as long as I remember. Fool's paradise.
All right. Process Bruno. That's a new vibe. I mean, you still have the funky Bruno essentials, but I dig it. This is a cool vibe with a groove of its own. Very nice. What are the 3 tracks? I think there may have been some multi-tracking involved. Disqualified. Unbelievable, Bruno. How could you do this to us? No, but it sounded very cool. I do hear some layering. Thinking a real next challenge, a creative constraint. What if you limit yourself to 1 track? Just 1. It qualified because it grooved. Of course. But yeah, what if you just have 1 track? 1 single track. No multi-tracks. Just 1 track. What would you do? I'd like to know. solo guitar, solo vocal, even better. Disqualified for being too good. Not allowed. Now, everyone was really good. God damn, it was a good track list today. Well done, everyone. Give yourself a big applause. That was a hell of a track list. Loads of awesome tracks. Very, very cool. Bunch of newcomers today. All with bangers of their own as well. We'd love to hear you again. If you have friends that love to join this kind of thing or are interested in songwriting or just indie music from all these lovely musicians, invite them. Let them join the Discord. There's links in the description below or wherever YouTube places it in a year from now or whenever you watch this VOD. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. I'd like to thank Ben once more for co-hosting the Song Challenge. Please go check him out over on his YouTube channel. All the stuff we mentioned before. Excellent musician. Good friend. And please go check out everyone that sent in their music. They have their SoundClouds. They have their Spotifys. They have their YouTube channels. A bunch of people made a video. They're all in the Discord too. I highly recommend you go in there and have a little after party, chit chat about the awesome tracks. Check out each other's videos, leave some nice comments, all that good stuff. If you want to support the Song Challenge and my other content, once again, please go check out my Patreon. We really rely on your support to keep doing this. I'm also available for private music lessons, where I can teach you anything from guitar technique to improv to music production and songwriting and anything we talked about today, or your video, social media, YouTube content, whatever you want. You can send me a message. My DMs are always open. We could talk about it. Anyway, thank you all so much. Links to socials and everything else are in the description, as always. Show some love in the chat for everyone that sent something in. All the support, all these awesome musicians. And don't forget to join the Discord, and I'll see you all next time. See you soon. New prompts will be up in about a week or so. We'll see. You'll see it appear. Have a good night, everyone. Very proud of you all. Bye-bye.